All right, we're going to talk about, I want to present something to you regarding all of these UFOs showing up, and I'm going to share some news resource, a news resource that I use that I feel is credible and objective. Everything else is sensationalized pretty much to get views, to make money on YouTube for those views, and I refuse to go into that space. So when you come here, I'm always going to give you an opinion, of course, but I won't give you facts unless it has been verified by several people, if not organizations. I'm going to talk about that because I feel I've had verification, and I want to share with you what that is happening out there, because it isn't just happening in the last few months. It's actually been happening for over a decade, specifically the way it's showing up now. I want to share that with you, my news source, and have you understand your reaction right now is critical to where we're going. And my philosophy I'm going to share of why I think this is happening, why it's more in our face. Are you ready for this? Because this is really important, because we need you to participate if you choose. Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing, amazing life. It's possible. All things are possible. There's yin and yang here. There's a balance. And without the yin and the yang, things are skewed. Then we won't have any challenges. We came here for the lessons. Don't ever forget that. We want to fight that. We want everything to be good and fine, and we're not getting it. I think we're starting to get it. Now, first of all, I support one channel that's news because I feel it's objective and it's getting its sources from people in high-level positions of all kinds, and I don't agree with all of them. I'm going to share that source with you here shortly. I also want you to know that everything that you support, you send messages out to a collective quantum field that says this is what you want. Okay? Now, when we go into this is what you want, that's when we have cataclysmic events, conflicts, all these things that happen, and we're at the precipice of changing that. That's pretty much what I'm going to talk about today, what I feel is going on. So I hope that you subscribe, support my channel, because AI knows exactly what I'm saying. And my mission is to empower you and present to you that you are not here to get caught up in the material world, who's doing what, who's flying over what, and why they're doing it. But your reaction, your beliefs, your stories, all of it is the bottom line. It's all frequencies. The stories are irrelevant. It's the frequency. Now let's talk about that. So, Ross Colthourt of News Nation, I have watched a few of his interviews with people, and I have to tell you, I'm impressed. He's extremely skeptical. In fact, he used to be so skeptical, he pretty much would like poo-poo a lot of things with his guests, and I liked that. I liked that he questioned things. You should question everything and everyone, because it's so easy for people to fake things now, especially. And the other thing is, question yourself. Question your set beliefs that you're imposing on other people, or you're correcting people. If you're correcting people, then you are not living in a high frequency world that allows others to have an opinion, believe what they want to, and the ego wants everybody to know that I'm right and you're wrong, and here's that, and that's basement talk, right? That's just low frequency. Now, here's what I want to share with you. There were some major officials in our military here in the United States that were on his show. He's from Australia, and he covers a lot of news. He's well respected in government agencies and, let's just say, the news world in general. But he doesn't go into that freaky control space. In fact, I'm sure that he probably gets in trouble a lot for speaking out. However, he does take a fairly neutral stance and he asks the right questions. So he's had some military people on frequently. Luis Elizondo is one of them. I'm not a big fan. I really don't believe half the stuff he says. I think he loves the attention. The other thing, too, is David Grosh. I'm telling you, if you're a whistleblower and you're still working for the government, you're not a whistleblower, okay? They would put a stop to that. So a lot of these things, I think, are planted and planned. So I just listen with just an open mind. But who Ross had on recently was somebody in the military who has gone to these conferences in Washington, D.C. This military official, he was a fighter pilot. This guy's been in the military for quite a while. And I have to tell you, what was impressive is that he was actually in a plane where a unidentified flying object came so close to them they thought it was going to hit them, and these things are taking off at speeds that are just impossible for a human being to survive within it with our technology. He said for every pilot that reports something, there's 10 that don't, because they are threatened, they're fired, they're made fun of, they're harassed. We know this, right? So now there's organizations that are actually protecting these people so that they can come out, and more of these pilots are discussing this. Now, the question is, what is that up in the sky? So I said to you, I believe it was our military, because otherwise, if they're in airspace and they're really concerned, because he's actually flying over military installations, there's a pattern, okay? That's why they're here in the Gulf, because we have them here. And so the question is, why? They're not doing anything. They're just hanging out. I think it's a statement, and I think the military is not around them because they aren't military. Now, this is my opinion right now, because I'm hearing more and more about what these craft are doing, and it's not something that I think even our military is capable of creating. Now, some of them seem to be, but others not so much. Now, you're thinking, okay, it's New Jersey, California, Florida. Actually, it's not. It's over in Europe. It is in India. And so this is what this pilot was saying. He's actually working in a capacity to work with the government to try and get some answers. And he said, this has been going on for over a decade on the level that it is now. So much of it hasn't been reported. And he said it is absolutely directly related to nuclear installations, and military armament. Okay, what does that tell you? Why are they hovering around? Here's my take on this. All right, take it or leave it. I do believe that at least some element of it is extraterrestrial. I believe that they feel that we are at a tipping point, which I've written about in my book. You guys read about this. I said we're already in it. I talked about this last year, that we're going to go into the tipping point 2024 and 25, and it's happening. What does that mean? That there will be a point of no return. The only way that any extraterrestrials will interfere is if we're going to blow ourselves up. And if they feel that we are in an imminent position to do that, they will step in, because it affects the galaxies directly. Now, this is all part of the game. This is part of the illusion, but it's a real illusion. It's one we're playing out. And so it affects them, and of course they don't want to see us do that. They have stood back for a long time, made themselves known, but apparently these, what we're calling drones, or we're actually not drones, UAPs, whatever, unidentified craft, we can't be sure what they are actually, some are coming out of the water. I heard this, the military knows this. Not everybody has seen this. The public is seeing this. By the way, the public isn't freaking out, whoever's saying that. We know it's happening here. My friends, we don't even talk about it. Oh, you're always freaking out. And one of the government officials talking to Ross said, no, they're not. He said, there's no panic or freaking out. They're like, we want to know what it is. Now, if they pose a threat on us, maybe there'll be some freaking out, but that hasn't been happening. I think it's a show of force. It's a show of power. a peaceful power. I believe it is a show of peaceful power. Otherwise, they would just come take us out, right? I think it's a show that we can do this, and you don't have the technology beyond us to do whatever you want to. They apparently finding it very difficult to, because of their stealth technology. We have stealth, of course, and it doesn't mean you disappear. You're not, invisible. They can do that, but we can't. Stealth simply means you can't be detected by radar or sonar. That's all it means. Look it up. Stealth. We can't see them. Oh, really? Seriously? Okay, let's get real. Now they can blink out, and that's what they're doing. They are on a completely different level than us. I believe that they're showing themselves to let us know that they're here and that they are more powerful than we are, and we better watch our P's and Q's. And so that's why I believe we're not shooting them out of the sky. Now it makes more sense, because what would happen if we did that? First of all, I guarantee you they have the upper hand on that. And if they did that, and it was in public domain, the public would freak out. And so I think that our government and all the other governments are taking a step back, peaceful stance to see what this is. It is happening all over the world. It's not just here in the US. And he was saying that India definitely, because they are a nuclear power, they have had all kinds of sightings, and this American said that he was there when these things happened and they didn't know what to do. And so what I want to share with you is I believe this is the start of a peaceful era that wherein we are no longer in control because we can't be trusted. I don't think you have to worry about any kind of cataclysmic war. I have predicted that that will not happen, because I believe that it will not be allowed, because on the level that we could do it right now would be detrimental to the entire planet. I'm not saying that it's not possible. Of course, all things are possible, because all realities are possible. So if you're interested, you can go look at News Nation. He has a YouTube channel. He's out of Australia, very up on what's going on here in the US government. And he does about 1 hour interviews with some pretty interesting people. Keep your mind open. And you know what? We don't have the answers, neither did they. I do believe, again, that this is a show of positive, peaceful force, that they are not going to allow us to, let's just say, self-destruct. Now, no matter what you think of the new government coming in, it is what it is, whether you voted for the Trump administration or not. I want you to know that there will be actions taken. Now, here's where I feel good, and that is that, and Trump said this, that absolutely Biden and the military know what's going on, and I believe that's true. I believe there's no way they don't know, otherwise they would have taken some kind of action. Like I said, they'd have had fighter jets up there. They didn't, because I think they know what it is. So the question is, so when Trump comes in, what's he going to do? Well, I'm not concerned. So if he shows any kind of force, I believe that we can't keep up with their technology, and they won't allow it. And I don't believe are violent. And the whole purpose of this show is to say we're here. And it's the start of letting us know they're here. And they're not doing it in a way that's scaring the crap out of us. Although some of you might be afraid. I don't know why. You're eternal. I mean, let's go in peace and let's start to create our own world. So they're waiting for us to behave. And it's time for us to behave. Are you ready to behave? Yeah. So what do we have to work on right now? Because they're so in tune psychically to absolutely everything and everyone. They don't have to communicate with words or language. They don't have names. They just tune into frequencies, and they know you must tune into a higher frequency, one of love and compassion. So, if you guys believe what's in the Bible, and let's translate it into something maybe a little bit more advanced, and that is, who's going to go to that new world? Who's going to get taken? Now, I'm not talking physically. I don't believe ETs are physically going to take us off the planet. Again, all things are possible. I believe it's a frequency. I believe that those few people, because it is a minority at this point, that can change, that are going into awakening, understand that all of that is meant to take us into awakening, to allow us to make those decisions and to get out of the world of conflict and arguing and judgment and go into a space where we are working as one, even as diverse people with different opinions are still can come together and work as one. And that's what we're meant to do. If you are part of that group of people, and I know some of you have gone into that euphoric state where you just, things look so different and the arguing seems ridiculous because it doesn't matter. Focus on this. I did this in my last video. Those are distractions. I don't think they're trying to distract us, but I think those are distractions. And all the people giving you the stories of what it is, you know, and going into these deep channeling, and here's what they said. And I just saw somebody recommended, some channeler says, we're the only source on the planet. I thought, yeah, you're the only, you know, oh yeah. Big mouth claiming, ego claiming that, you know, oh yeah, you're the only one. Seriously? Okay, let's walk away from the madness. Everyone can tune into their feelings and frequencies. You know when you're making a good decision or not. You know when somebody else in the room is on a higher frequency or not. Send them light and love, not judgment or conflict. We don't want to go into that. We are being tested by those lower frequencies, your best teachers. This is about you, not them. This isn't about the government. This is all about how we're going to conduct ourselves. And if we take this into this new golden era, it is happening. It is, but it is a choice, a personal choice of frequency. That's how it works. And so you can participate and align yourself with other high-level frequencies. And anybody below that won't. They can't. It's impossible. You can't tune in to rock and roll if you're tuned into classical music, right? You can't be in the penthouse if you're in the basement and bring it down to you. You have to go up to it. This is how it works. So it's time for us to focus on this and go out of fear and understand they're making their presence known, that whatever you guys are thinking. Now, I think it's ironic that it happened just before Trump came into office, right? Now, I told you in a video that Edgar Cayce had predicted a total shift into high spirituality, and at the same time that someone would come into power that would bring great change. Not, I didn't say good or bad, just great change, but also conflict. So no matter what side you take, if you take a side, you're creating conflict, good or bad, because you're separating yourself from the other, and you are the one. You are not separate from the other. All right, so we have to pay attention to this. We're going to talk more about it, and of course, more information that I'm going to be looking up and tapping into my own intuition and realizing that there are no enemies, that the universe, our neighbors, are just rooting for us because why would they want us to, you know, self-implode? They don't. They are on a higher frequency. And yes, of course, there are those who are good, and the good aliens and the bad aliens. I'm so sick of hearing that. Why don't we look at us, the good humans and the bad humans? So what are we going to do? Eliminate the bad humans? So if you're looking at them that way, you better start looking at us that way, right? Is that what you can do? Take out everybody that is on a low frequency making low level decisions? It's insanity. Knock it off. By the way, it's Christmas Eve. I'm getting things in order because I get your house in order. I've got digital explorers. People are coming over and learning how to create planet conscious online businesses. You can be anything you want. I take you from scratch to finish. We are going to reach the planet with our messages, our high-level products, our teachings, our healings, whatever you want to do that you've wanted to do to contribute to this new world. Come over and I'm helping you. I guide you. I've been doing this for over a decade. I'm an online trainer, top trainer. And I will work with you through an online course and live coaching where we take you into that space and teach you how to be a business owner, an entrepreneur, and apply the new paradigm to this new world. where we damage no one. We make decisions based on positive impact and not just how much money we can make. It's a new way of living, and it has to infiltrate our business, how we earn, all of it, and that's why I created it. So those of you say, you're promoting your stuff, you betcha I am. What are you promoting? What are you buying? What are you eating? Okay, so I have a new channel. It's called Chic Sustainability, and I talk about all these things. I'm going to give up cheese for starters. I looked it up, and the truth is we can't be ignorant anymore about anything, my friend, about every single one of your choices. Everything counts. It's cruel to animals, and there was no cheese that wasn't, including goat cheese, and when I found out what they did to the goats, it made me sick. I will no longer eat cheese. I'm sorry, but we will come up with solutions for everything in your life that you don't want to give up. But we have to make those higher choices. It's up to you. You have to start now. So nothing to fear. Get your binoculars out, give them a wave, and tell them you're going to behave and contribute to the new world. And that if you do that, you create a new reality here for all of us, because you are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. This is freaking exciting, isn't it? It's exciting, and you're here. You get to be here for this. Get excited and contribute. Be your best. It's okay. We're not going to be burned at the stake anymore for doing amazing things. And you are amazing. You are unconditionally loved, my friend. You're never alone. Just open yourself up to it, and things will show up for you. I promise you that. Namaste. Don't forget, you get your free webinar, digitalexplorers.net. You'll see New Start down in the description. I'm training people on how to create online businesses that are planet conscious in a way you never imagined possible. If you want to check it out, go down in the description and click Imagine a Life of Beauty, one where you're contributing, you have purpose, passion, positive impact. But yes, profits, it's okay to earn. It's an online course on your schedule and live coaching weekly. Let's do it together. Let's create something amazing.